Hi beautiful people, and welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be filming my everyday spring makeup tutorial, and along the way I'm going to be answering some questions so you guys can get to know me a little bit more. So to start everything off in my little get ready with me, I'm going to be using my moisturizer. I like the Pond's Dry Skin Cream Moisturizer. Now before I start, I have very dry skin. So if you have like oily or combination skin, then this routine might not be for you, girl, because my shit is dry. Since we're on my first step, which is moisturizing, I'm gonna answer my first question. And I do have my questions like literally written down. First question, I'm gonna keep it nice and light, is what is my coffee order? At home, I make my coffee with the Iced Delight little like pre-made coffees, and I like the mocha one or the churro tasting one. And I just mix that with the Natural Bliss hazelnut coffee creamer, a little bit of whipped cream, a little bit of caramel. You have my coffee order. If you're talking like going to Starbucks, then as of lately, my coffee order is a grande caramel frappuccino with either a chocolate croissant or a butter croissant. Next thing, to prep my skin, I'm using this Ren, oh my god, I can't! Brightening under eye cream. And again, because I have super dry skin, I absolutely cannot miss out on these little steps. Otherwise, my face will be looking like a gator. All right, besties, next I'm going to be priming my neck. And I know this is a little bit weird, but sometimes I like to put bronzer down my neck to match my face. And I like to have it nice and moisturized to keep it like really soft and shiny looking. I'm using the Earth Harbor Regenerative Neck Cream. Just take this, I put some on my neck and moisturize. Next question is my full name. So my full name is Rebecca Antoinette Barrows. Another question on there that I might as well just hit two birds with one stone is what is my nickname? And of course my nickname is Riri, so that's what I usually go by. Okay, so while I do my brows, I'm just going to be gelling them up with the Got2b gel. The next question is what time do you go to bed? And I go to bed super late, you guys. I don't know like what is up with my schedule. I go to sleep late and I wake up late. Because they're always asking me like when I'm cooking dinner so late, what time do you go to bed? I usually go to bed around like 11:30 to midnight, sometimes a little bit later and sometimes a little bit earlier, but we're always in bed by like 10:30, 11, watching movies, Netflix, TikTok. It takes me a while to fall asleep. I think my brows take the longest part of my makeup routine just because I have to make sure that they're all laying down. And then I keep brushing them up, that way they dry that way. Oh, they take forever. But after I have them like brushed down in the position I like, then it's a breeze from here. Okay, so the next question, how would I rate my childhood 1 through 10? Now, I do not want to be ungrateful, so I'm going to rate it pretty high. I'm going to say my childhood was a good 7.8. And I'm giving it that rating because I know that people have had much, much worse traumatic childhoods than I did. So I'm very grateful that, you know, I wasn't put through the craziest of things. My spoolie just broke. Great. Girl, we're gonna have to use this baby little spoolie. Again. Growing up, my mom was a single mom to 5 kids. I didn't really see my dad too much. We did sometimes here and there, but it was very on and off. And my mom, because she was a single mom with so many children, we didn't have very much money to just, you know, do regular childhood things. And because she was a single mom, she was always working, because I swear she had a job, like 3 different jobs, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and then a whole night shift. So we didn't really see her too often. So overall, it was like a decent childhood, but I feel like I could have lived more like a kid and done more like kid things. I don't know. That's why I can't wait to have my own kids so I could do like all of those little things that you're supposed to do with your kids, you know what I mean? And I don't fault her because I know she had to do what she had to do. But I had an okay childhood. But yeah, we didn't have a lot of extra money to, you know, do things that a kid should be able to do, like school field trips, or I mean really just anything, like big birthday parties, anything like that. It was a no. But like I said, I do give her so much props, because having to do it all on your own with 5 kids is like, I can't even think about how hard that is. So props to you, Mom. Before I get into questions more about like me personally, I feel like I really like this next question too. It says, what are your favorite values in friends? Which I think is a great question, and I don't feel like that is very talked about enough. Meanwhile, you guys, I'm gonna be concealing my eyelids and underneath my brows. So I want to start off by saying I actually don't even have that many friends, but I will say if I were to have many friends, I'm still gonna answer what my values would be for that. I would say kindness. I think it's so important that whoever I'm surrounding myself with is like-minded, and if we go to lunch or to dinner and you want to gossip and talk about the people sitting next to us at the table, like how they look or anything like that, immediately I'm totally turned off by that type of behavior. Like, I could give a crap about what anybody looks like or what they're doing. Like, yeah, so if you're giving me that negative vibe of just like gossiping and talking bad about the people that you see around you, no. I also want to say I really want friends that are understanding. I go through very bad anxiety episodes where I don't even know how to respond to a text message, let alone hold like a conversation. So I feel like I would want a friend that can understand, but also communicate. Like, I'll be communicating with you, you know, like, you know what, girl, it's been a hard week for me. So if you don't hear from me for a week, don't judge me. Don't think I hate you. It's just my own like mental games. Lastly, I probably just want like friends that are chill people. Like, I don't like to do too much a lot of the time. A lot of the times I like to just chill, watch a movie, maybe do some stuff at home, like decorate cookies, stuff like that. So we want to have like-minded friends in the sense that they don't mind chilling on the couch, watching a movie for a few hours, smoking, just chilling. Like, I don't like friends that constantly feel like they have to do something and like go out to have fun. Now, I don't judge you if you're like that, but when you're with me, I hope you don't judge me because I don't like to do the most, you know. Okay, so now I'm just gonna be setting my eyelids, and from here we're gonna do some eyeshadow. And in case you guys are wondering, the concealer that I used is the Juvia's Place concealer, and the powder I'm using is the Makeup Revolution Banana Light Setting Powder. So before we do my eyeshadow, let's take a hit. Cheers. And in honor of us taking a hit together, I'm going to answer the next question, which is indica or sativa. 100%, I am an indica girl. I probably won't turn you down if you ask me to smoke sativa, but if I am smoking sativa, it just makes me feel like a literal lunatic. Like, I feel actually crazy. I don't know what it does to my body, but girl, no, that is definitely more of like a head high for me. Rather, when I smoke indica, it's more of like a body high. I'm just chill, relax. And then girl, if I smoke sativa, my mind is running 1,000,000 miles a minute. I can't. So for my shadow, I'm using the Soft Glam palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I know this palette is so 2017, but you guys, to be honest, I don't really buy new makeup like that. I wish that I did, but I feel like all my extra money just doesn't fall in the makeup category. That's why I usually try to buy the most affordable stuff, but also the stuff that works really good. So I'm just gonna be taking the shade in Rustic. And I just tap this onto my eyelid, just like this. And don't worry about blending right now. We're just getting the product on the eye. Next question is, who is my celebrity crush? Now, I love my man, okay? And I only have eyes for my man. Let's get that straight. So even if said person were to ever come up to me, there would be no issues. But I would probably say Drake, Russ. I know it can get scary sometimes when blending eyeshadow, but let me show you. I literally took my shadow from this, which is just the packed on color, to this in a matter of seconds. So you just gotta keep blending and don't get scared. So the next question is, how long have I been with my man? Me and my man have been together, you guys, for almost 5 years. July 13th marks our 5th year anniversary. And also a question on here is, what is your longest relationship? My longest relationship is this current one that I'm in. I can't imagine it ending anytime soon. Of course, my mother always taught me, from a mom who was married 5 times as well, that the rug can be ripped across from under your feet at any given moment. So I'm not saying that nothing will never happen, but I'm hopeful and faithful that he is my soulmate and that we are gonna be together forever. I'm gonna add a little bit of the blush that I'm using, this baby doll pink, just because I want to make it a little bit more spring vibes. And I feel like baby pink screams spring, so we're gonna add some pink into here. Next question is, when did I start working? And now I know you guys are probably thinking I'm gonna say like 16 or 15. Girl, no, I actually started working when I was just 9 years old. That was the first job I ever had. And some of my little OG besties on here know that I was a model and an actress in my adolescent years. That's the first age that I ever booked my first job. And like I told you guys, my mom was actually a single mom. She had 3 jobs. So when she had to take me to my auditions and my work, of course, she had to take time off of her jobs. And in that sense, she wouldn't be able to pay the bills. So your girl was bringing in the money and paying some bills. She still paid bills, of course. She was like still doing her other 2 jobs, but your girl was paying some rent, paying some bills, getting some food on the table at 9 years old. You gotta do what you gotta do for the family, girl. Next, I'm gonna be adding this beautiful ColourPop dupe for the Urban Decay Space Cowboy. This one is in the shade Ritz, and it's just their little glitter eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna take some on my finger, and I'm literally just gonna be patting this onto my eyelid. But yeah, I absolutely loved doing what I did. I wish I could take back nothing from my childhood. I did miss out on a lot of like school and like socialization, obviously at that age, but I feel like it brought me a lot of independence within myself and also drive. Like, I'm very driven. I feel like anything is possible if you put your mind to it. And I worked a lot, you guys. It was kind of crazy. Like, I was always working, going to auditions, and now that I think, like, not your everyday person gets to do all that. So I'm so blessed and thankful for that amazing opportunity that my mom gave me. I know a lot of people's parents wouldn't necessarily have faith in their kids like that, but she had faith in me, and she was my #1 cheerleader. And I booked amazing commercials, modeling campaigns. You guys, I did some crazy stuff, and I never really talk about it because I'm kind of embarrassed by it, but if you guys ever want to see any of that stuff, I totally have like Barbie boxes with my picture on it. So on camera, I feel like you guys can't really see how pretty my eyeshadow looks in real life. It's very pretty, and it's not as light. It definitely has some color to it. I'll flip the camera around towards the end and show you guys the full look. I'm going to be adding a very little bit of the shade Cypress Umber right into the outer V, just to add some definition to my eyes a little bit. Of course, I just go in at first tapping in the product, and then I'll take a different fluffier brush and really blend it in there. Next question is, how old am I and when's my birthday? So while I answer this question, I'm going to be applying my mascara. I'm using the Honest mascara, and this one comes with a primer and an actual mascara. So I'm going to go in first with the primer. So I am 23 years old. I'll be 24 this year on July 16th. I was born in 1999, and that makes me a Cancer. And you guys, I am a proud Cancer. I feel like a lot of the Cancers that I meet or hear about are very kind people, and they take that to heart. Like, they don't have to necessarily try to be kind. It just kind of radiates from us. Like, that's just who I am, and I just love it. So I love to be a Cancer. So I'm just lathering up my lashes with the primer first. It will make your lashes white. Don't get scared because we're gonna put the regular mascara on top of this. I love using affordable makeup. Of course, luxury and high brands make really nice makeup as well, but I'm just here to tell you, if you can't afford to live like that, which unfortunately some of us can't, okay, it is what it is. So the next question is, how many siblings do I have? To be honest, I have a whole lot of siblings. So I have a twin sister. Her name is Rachel. She's also 23 years old. I have an older brother. His name is Andrew. He's 25 years old. So me, Rachel, and Andrew, we all have one dad. Moving along the line, I have an older brother. His name is Zach. He's 27 years old. He has his own like separate dad. I have an older sister. Her name is Alex, and I think she's 30. Or 29, I don't know which one, 29 or 30, sorry Alex. And she also has a separate dad. For my dad has other kids too. So he has another son, His name is Michael, so that's my half brother. We have another sister. She's a half sister. Her name is Brittany. And then he has a stepson named Daniel, and I have a younger sister. Her name is Chloe, and I think she's 13. So lots of siblings. I know, it's a little bit confusing. Did I make any sense to you guys? Kiss actually sent me a little PR package with some lashes. These lashes are part of the Muse collection. So let's pick which one we want. You guys know I'm a dramatic lash type of girl. So I think I'm gonna go with these ones because I've had my eye on them this whole entire time. Aren't they freaking gorgeous? Okay, let's try them on. How many lashes? We're gonna answer the next question, which is, what is your life goal or your end game? I like to get a little bit deep. I like this question because it's just important. Like, what is your life goal? And a life goal of mine is to, I've talked about this before on my TikTok lives, but I really want to open up a shelter, one in each state. That way I could help as many animals as I could possibly help. So if obviously I don't live in every state, but I hope to have a shelter in each state. Of course, it's a no-kill shelter. So if these animals have to be with me for 10 years, girl, they're gonna be there for 10 years and they're gonna get treated the best with so much love. It's not even gonna feel like a shelter or a rescue. So that's my goal. My purpose in this life is to help animals. Like, I just love them so much, and a lot of times people think that I'm just in the dogs for money, but I'm like, you guys, I didn't even necessarily choose breeding. It was something that my boyfriend was already doing before I met him, but it has to do with animals. So I cannot turn down a job that has to do with animals, and it may not be the regular schmegular way, but I do want to end up doing that, like I said, later on in the future. The next question, speaking of breeding, is when did you start breeding? And I started this 4 years ago with my boyfriend when I met him. I just kind of helped him along the way. I don't necessarily consider myself to be a dog breeder. I feel like that's my man's title. I'm more of just the girlfriend that stays at home, takes care of the dogs, feeds them what they deserve, and pampers them, gives them a good life. I'm just a dog mom. And it just so happens to be that I'm dating a dog breeder, but he also started this really seriously 4 years ago when we first started everything. Actually, almost 5 years ago. But his family did do it before I was even in the picture, so. Glue I'm using is from Lash Couture, and I'm actually so allergic to this freaking lash glue, you guys. I freaking count myself. Bitch, tell me why I'm allergic to this. Every single night my eyelids are watering. They're so puffy, they're so red, and they burn, and I continue to use this. So before I answer the next question, now that my lashes are nice and popped on, they look so gorgeous. I'm obsessed. I'm gonna go in with my primer. I'm using this Milani one. This is the Skin Quench Primer. Guys, my skin is so dry, so every step that I can, I try to use products that are very moisturizing for my skin. And hi, Himi. And so the next question is going to be about my beloved Dolce. She's actually right here. I want to start filming my videos right here because my little Dolce bear just lives right here, and I'd like her to still be a part of my videos and still in them. So say hi to Miss Dolce. This question is dedicated for her. Does losing a fur baby, like, does it get easier as time goes on, or like how is the grief? And of course, everybody grieves differently for different things. I will say all my dogs to me and my boyfriend are like our children. So it was so hard, and it still continues to be so hard. Some days we wake up really sad. Some nights we go to bed really sad. So I don't want to say that it gets easier, but it just gets more different, if that makes sense. Like, okay, so now that my skin is nice and primed, I'm going to give it a second to dry. Meanwhile, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. It's my favorite foundation. I've repurchased this foundation over 10 times. Next question is asking for an update on my neighbor's dog. And while I don't necessarily have a update for you guys, I will say that the office did contact him. He has been letting the dog in the house more often. I think the little son that lives over there is on spring break. He's been home more often and able to let the dog in the house more. I still go over and see my little fur friend. He still gets so excited to see me. He literally cries and pees on himself every single time I walk past. But like I said, I'm maintaining my distance when the owners are there because I do not want them to know that I am the mystery person that continues to feed and give toys and treats to their dog. So I keep my distance when the owners are there and I see him quite often like to sneak over there and go say hello, but he's doing okay for now, besties. And yeah, I called animal control. They didn't really do anything. And then I called my office and they finally made a phone call. So I have noticed that the dog has been going inside a little bit more often. So I'm just taking that same foundation and I'm just going around my brows with a smaller concealer brush. Just that way that I can make sure that they are getting nice and cleaned up where it needs to be. Sometimes the brush is too big to like get in those little spaces. Next question is if me and my man want or plan on having kids, and the answer is yes, a million times yes. I have PCOS, so it's actually very hard for me to get pregnant. There are ways, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is difficult. And I will say that we've been trying for like a good 2 years, you guys. I know I'm so young, but we just want kids. I feel like I would be a good mommy and I know he would be a good dad. So I think when the time is meant to be, it will be. But of course, I do want kids and I can't wait. To use the Juvia's Place concealer, I'm not going to be blending it out with my little e.l.f. sponge. And you guys, these sponges are great. They're one of my favorite like drugstore sponges. I like the Real Technique ones as well, but I think this one might be cheaper. I don't know. Either way, this and the Real Technique sponges are really good. And like I said, I like a very light concealer, as you guys could see. So you can already kind of tell that it is starting to bring that foundation more into my neck shade and matching everything. Now, if I used a foundation that was the exact shade of my skin and I did all this highlighting, then my face would be looking like Michael Jackson. Yeah, that's not really the vibe we are going for. In case you guys wanted to know who is so noisy back here, it's my live audience, Heaney and Mr. Cow. I'm just gonna be blending in the second coat of concealer, except this time I only put it directly underneath my eye. I'm setting everywhere that I put the concealer with that same Makeup Revolution Banana Light powder. And I don't like to bake, I like to press it into my skin. Because my skin is so dry, if I were to bake, it just would not work, girl. Oh, I see everyone and their mamas using these but like powder puffs to set their under eyes and their skin. I tried this. This is why this new one is still in the package. I totally do not recommend this. Every time I use this, my skin looks like an alligator. Like, I'm not playing. Instead, I just use these little makeup wedges. And you can get these from Target, Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid. $3 for like 50. And then I'm going to be taking that same powder and I'm just going to clean up my jawline. I have not put on my bronzer yet, but I like to leave this here in the meantime. That way when I put on my bronzer, it doesn't get on all crazy and like go everywhere. Speaking of bronzer, that is my next step. I like to use the Makeup Revolution Makeup Bronzer. This is in the shade 01 Cool. As you guys could see, I'm almost needing another one. But girl, there's still plenty left in here, so I'm gonna use it up until it's gone. The way the world is set up these days, I'm using this every little last bit, okay? The next question is if I have any advice for new creators or smaller creators. And to be honest, I consider myself to be a new creator slash small creator. So my advice for you is to be consistent. There were so many times that I would be posting on TikTok. Even to this day, some videos just don't do that great. And it could be very, very, very like, not draining, but discouraging. I guess draining too in a sense. But you have to keep going because you think no one watches your stuff now, but I promise you one day there will be a few people and those few people will turn into hundreds of people. Those hundreds of people will turn into thousands of people. You have to start somewhere. So if you just start and keep producing content, there's only one way that it'll go, and that's up. My man literally just said, you know what I want? You're not gonna like this. I'm like, what? Well, I'm trying to think, what is he gonna say? This mother trucker says a whole Costco pizza. We've had pizza the past 2 days, and both times it was from Sam's. I'm gonna be going in with blush, and the blush is my favorite one from Juvia's Place. I really pack my blush on. Afterwards, we're gonna go in with a lighter blush to blend this pink into the white color there. But I go in heavy because I feel like my blush wears away within the first hour that I have it on. So I like to go heavy, and then later on, it turns out to be perfect. Cheers! Voila! And I'm now going to go in with my brow marker. This is the NYX brow marker in the shade Espresso. And I'm basically just going to go over my brows. I try not to bring the pen anywhere on top of the brow. I keep it starting from the bottom or the base of my brow, and I pull it up like hair-like strokes to fill in any baldness, but also to cover up any powder that may have gotten on my brows. Using that same brow marker, sorry if you guys hear him snoring, I'm going to be filling in any real moles that I have on my face. But also, if you have an acne or a little pimple, you can also mark it with this little pin, and you're going to have everybody thinking you have a face full of beautiful beauty marks and not little zits. Although there's nothing wrong with zits, but this is just what I like to do. Next thing, besties, I'm going to be setting my face with the Morphe setting spray. I really like this because, once again, for dry skin, this types of stuff, like setting your face afterwards, is a must. Face is drying. I'm going to be going in with the Glam Doll Beauty highlighter. I'm using the shade 04. I don't know about you guys, but I just don't like a very shiny face. So I just put some highlight on my nose, on the tip, and then down the bridge. And then I also just put it on the inner corners. Some days, if I'm feeling a little frisky, I'll do the brow bone. But for today, I think I'm going to skip that. So to blend my blush with my under eyes, I'm just using the Kylie Cosmetics Pink Power blush, and I'm just pressing this right over where we set the under eyes, and you guys can see it just creates more of a smooth and seamless blend. That way it's almost like a Neapolitan ice cream. It goes from brown to pink to light pink to white. I'm going to be taking the ColourPop BFF3 lip liner as always and lining my lips. Taking the Makeup Revolution liquid lipstick in the shade Stunner, and I'm just going to put this on my lips and then tap it out with my finger. My next question is, what is your #1 pet peeve? To be honest, I think my #1 pet peeve would be if I'm having a conversation with another couple and if the girl is only making eye contact with my man, if the girl doesn't look at me once and she's just directing and having her attention only talking to my man and doesn't even acknowledge that I'm sitting right there, that is my #1 pet peeve. Like, girl, hi. Just because I know I would never be doing that to another girl. Like, if I'm talking to a girl or like a couple, I am directing my attention to the female. Occasionally, you know, if he says something, I'll, yeah, blah, 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 right back to the girl though. You know what I mean? Like, don't be weird. So for my lips, I'm going to put a tiny touch of my concealer right in the center. Just a tiny little dot. Again, tapping it in with my finger. And for my last question, it is, when did I develop a love for cooking? I'm going to be topping my lips off with the Sky Pink gloss from Revlon. And as far as when I developed a love for cooking, I've been cooking ever since I was a wee little girl. I'm dead. Why did it, like, that give me Irish? I felt like I had to say that in Irish accent. I don't know why. A wee little girl. But yeah, when I was a very little girl, probably like 10 to 12, I don't remember the exact age, but when my mom would be working her night shifts, for some reason, as the youngest, I was the one that just kind of fell into the role of cooking for everybody. And yeah, I just at first would make what my mom would make, which is very, very simple stuff. My mom does not cook, and that's why I kind of took in that role to cook for everybody. And I kind of just fell in love with feeding people, and that was the way to someone's heart in my eyes, was like through food. So that is a deep love of mine. I enjoy cooking for my boyfriend. It's something that I love to do. It's my love language. I've done it ever since I was a little girl, and so I continue to do that now that I'm older. All right, besties, this completes my everyday spring makeup tutorial. I hope you guys loved it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. This is the final result. I just want to show you guys what it looks like in natural lighting compared to the lighting that you guys just seen with my little ring lights. Thank you guys as always for watching. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to see you guys in next week's video. Make sure to give this video a big like, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Until next time.